recording. Now we're on the record.
Yeah.
That now it's not going to be near as good as what was just happening.
What they go? We started like at 7. It's already like 9 o'clock right now.
Dude, it's 11 o'clock where I live.
I was gonna say, fucking, you said it's fucking real late.
Oh my goodness,
Holy
dude.
shit.
This
You know,
was
this
just
is the equivalent of this is the equivalent of
an hour and almost 2 hours of just bullshit.
you know what this
Oh,
feels like? This feels
one
like there's a fire somewhere and we're like fumbling around like reading the instructions on like a fire extinguisher right now, like trying to figure out what to do.
first we couldn't hear fuck, and then Rudy couldn't be heard, and then I had to get a second screen, and then the fucking teleport was.
Yeah. Don't worry, Edric. The whole place is burned down by now.
I'm thinking maybe we should just bullshit for a little bit and figure out the teleport.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not even sure if I can I don't even know where to even get this freaking password.
Y'all remember Little Richie?
That little curly headed kid.
Yeah.
He thought he was Michael Jackson a lot.
Yeah, yeah. He just did a Michael Jackson thing.
I'm not even
He just
fucking
started
watching.
dancing. See, this show's predictable. You know what's gonna happen.
Whatever
Mine got disconnected.
whatever happened to predictability? It's in the lyrics of the theme.
Yeah,
The
really.
Milkman, the favorite boy, the evening TV.
Oh yeah, I think I am the only one left watching this show.
Yeah, the last one at the party.
Yeah, close this place down.
Hold on,
So I don't know. I mean,
I'm gonna get off of here and get back on the one of my computers. So I don't have to keep holding my phone. So
you were gonna hold your phone the whole time, dude. Like you should at least like put it somewhere.
I did.
Holy crap! Yeah.
It kept slipping. So I'll figure out something different. I'll have multiple screens. This was gonna be a one-time thing. Chill out. Get off my back. So
All right.
give me a second. I'll be right back.
This is Daniel's grand entrance to the podcasting world. So in case anybody knows what's going on, because I don't know if we'll use this footage or not, but trying to get on a teleparty to watch Family Matters and having a lot of technical and user difficulties.
Say something, Daniel.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I can hear Edric and Rudy. So finally,
we're solid.
Hopefully everybody on the internet can hear you too.
Yeah.
That'd be awful to upload this and it'd be like just us moving our lips and it's just like nothing, no sound or anything.
After tonight, it would make sense. Man, I burned myself at work.
Like badly?
Not super bad, but I burned myself with something that was cold.
Ooh, yeah, that's bad.
So I work on ACs and I was messing with the refrigerant, and when I took my gauges off, the fucking Schrader core was bent, so it stayed open. It sprayed all this refrigerant out, and it gets fucking cold. But like this whole part of my hand is fucking burned, and if you look on this side, you can see where it was fucking crazy.
Like the T1000.
I was gonna say, do y'all ever remember like a lot of real annoying kids? I think this is a big thing, like in elementary. They would spray each other with like that liquid cold spray. I think it was like the stuff you use to like dust keyboard sprays and stuff.
Oh yeah,
They would spray each other in the arm, and they would think it was funny.
they get like fucking burns and shit.
Yeah, did you ever have those types in your elementary class?
Yeah.
I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, that was like a thing that people thought. It was one of those things that people thought was really funny. It was up there with like, I don't know, like poking people with pens and thinking it was funny, like those kind of kids.
I had bullies suck, dude. I was at one point in my life I was bullied heavily in
really
in intermediate school. It was bad. I got to high school, it kind of stopped. There was like one incident in high school where someone was a dick, but then I punched them, and they're like, weren't a dick anymore. So, but yeah,
that's terrible.
I was bullied heavily, and then but they're the what people do to kids when they're kids, it's ridiculous. Like there was this kid that used to get bullied on at high school, and he was like a special needs kid, right? And he just always wanted to hug people. But this certain group of people just decided that they were just going to bully the crap out of him. And he would climb the basketball goal and stuff. And they would chunk basketballs at him as he's hanging for 10 feet in the air, like trying to knock him off. It was just fucking ridiculous.
What the hell? That's not even bullying. That's just assault.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a second. You're telling me this kid could dunk a basketball?
No, he would. You know how the goals at Pasadena, they were like, when they weren't like set up, they were a little off to the side. He would climb the mats and jump over to the scaffolding behind the goal and then climb. And this was my freshman year, so it was still the old gyms. You remember the old gyms before they built the new ones?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah, but he would just jump
It's the
over there.
It's the ones where we used to have all the pep rallies and stuff at.
And just like he could dunk a basketball.
What's what I'm saying? Like if he's able to dunk a basketball, I don't see how he could possibly be getting bullied. Like that made you a superstar in school.
Yeah, not that poor kid.
Man, you guys are really missing out on the Dragons hideout.
Man, that's so disappointing. But
I'm still watching
we could have just done the Hulu watch party or whatever. I don't even know. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say The only way that I think this maybe would have worked is we maybe all should have watched it ahead of time, and then afterwards we could have come on here and like talked about it. But I guess it's a moot point now. But we were gonna just to give everybody a little heads up or let everybody in on what we're talking about is that we were gonna go and watch a teleparty of a episode of Full House where I think it's Rachel's Diner. I think that gets vandalized by a gang called the Dragon.
I think you meant Family Matters.
Yeah, what did I say? Did I say Full House?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Like I always get those two so mixed up.
Hey,
Like back to
cut
back.
it out.
You know what's funny is I haven't watched Family Matters since it was on television live, like not live, but playing the episodes on TGIF.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it since then, but I can still vividly remember this damn episode in my head. Like, aren't they like super sad and they're all in the broke down diner and they're all like reflecting on shit, and then Eddie has to go make things right. Isn't that what goes down?
I think they are, but then Eddie comes back and he's all beaten up.
Yeah. But
yeah, he tries to confront him, and he gets beat up. And I think after that, I think maybe what's the dad's name? Carl Winslow. I think he tries to get involved, but like, I think maybe I don't really remember. It's been a while, but I think the episode might be about how like Steve tries to hold them back from like getting too angry and taking matters in his own hands, kind of thing. Steve Urkel.
Oh,
I hope it's one of those episodes where Steve Urkel turns into Stefan, takes care of business.
I think it was before that actually, but I think I think there was some footage, if I remember correctly, where Urkel dresses up like what they consider a gang member. So he's wearing like a cut off jeans vest, like over his head and stuff, like. No,
I'm looking. He wore a leather jacket with spikes on it.
Yeah,
and a blue bandana.
So basically, think about like the Michael Jackson video, Bad video, like think those kind of games.
They're gonna tie their hands together and start having a dance fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Like they're wearing like leather jackets and like chains and stuff, but then like in the bottom they're wearing like ballet pants or something,
Yeah.
Some like kind of loafer shoes. but I don't think it's gonna work right now because we've had some technical difficulties. So I guess we're just gonna BS a little bit,
But we're gonna try to do SummerSlam.
but that's gonna. I mean, we could do something like
Super
that, like a live
Slam.
event. That'd be kind of cool if we could live reaction it, but we probably
Because
we probably have to try test running it, like because if we wait till the night of, like we're gonna get left in the dust because it's like a live event, and if we miss like when it starts, it's like we're gonna miss our. We're gonna be like the bumbling like the Keystone Cops, and people are gonna like,
or bumbling like what happened tonight.
Yeah, well, at least we didn't get that on video. At least if they're really the first.
I think the whole thing should have been on video. Honestly, I think this is every little bit of it. Just
You think people would have enjoyed like 2 hours of us like our faces really close to the web cameras? We're trying to figure out our laptops.
Can you hear me now, Rudy?
I think edited it would have been pretty good.
I bet AI could have got some cool shit out of that.
Yeah, it probably could have pulled some stuff out. But like, yeah, I think it's crazy. Like, to me, it seemed crazy when you mentioned about some kid getting bullied and he's like dunking. Because I'm like, I've never been. I've always liked watching basketball, but I've never been like really good at playing it. But man, I think I told somebody one time, like, dude, that would like, if I could pick one superpower, I think like maybe being able to dunk a basketball would be like one of the ones I'd pick, man. Because to me, it always just got me so high. It got me more hype, I think, than even like a touchdown. But you know, like a dunk is just like, because you get to be like so like disrespectful and like showboating when you do it. And I always thought, man, I wish I could do that, you know.
So you're telling me you want that as your superpower out of like invisibility, super speed? Well, that superpower. I can dunk a fucking basketball. So can LeBron James. But if I
maybe superpower is not. If I had to pick like a realistic like one that you could kind of like, maybe not that. That wasn't what I originally said. Well, I think what I originally said, I told somebody that if I had like Superman's powers or like a superhero powers, like, because you know, if you ever watch these movies where they're like trying to hide their powers and stuff, or like how Peter Parker, like when he's Spider-Man, like Mary Jane is all like
what the fuck?
Why is there an extra one of me in here?
I don't know. I don't know what you did, but okay. Well, anyways, when they go to Peter Parker, Spider-Man, like Mary Jane is all like in love with him and all like lusting after him, and then when he comes in, he pretends to be fair. Basically, what I'm getting at is like when the superheroes, when they hide like their power, they try to be like nerds on purpose. They try to be like plain and kind of like wimpy and stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. I think if I had like Superman's powers or if I had like Spider-Man's powers, like I'd be like dunking the basketball. I'd be like hitting home runs. I'd be like, I don't know, like, because I think because that would be okay. I don't think that'd be so bad. Like you're not robbing banks, or you're not like, you know, beating up people. So you're not totally abusing your power, but like you're using it a little bit, almost like in a selfish way. So I kind of felt like that'd be like a good like in between of not being like a total villain, but like, yeah, you're gonna use your powers to like do some stuff, you know.
I think that's so amazing how, like, I forgot what I was watching the other day, some show where they get superpowers like on Netflix, and immediately as soon as they get powers, they immediately become criminals. They like one guy like has super speed, and the first thing he started doing was delivering weed and stuff. And I was just like, why are you doing that?
Dude,
and the other guy wants to rob banks and stuff, and I was like, am I the only one who figured out like if you had superpowers you could do like legal good things for everybody and still get paid?
I've been watching Smallville, rewatching it lately because you know I used to love that show when it first started airing, and I've been rewatching it, and they use that concept but it's like the meteor rocks infect them. Mm-hmm. The kryptonite is meant to giving them all powers and stuff, and then the second they get powers, they become a rapist.
Yeah, like what the?
They're like a murderer. Like they're murdering just so they can stay skinny and shit. And it's just like, it's fucking hilarious. And then the guest stars, they're people who are like super famous now. Like what's her face who plays Lois Lane in Superman, the newer Superman?
Yeah.
Amy Adams or whatever her name. She's a guest star on there. And then you get a lot of like has-beens. Like I think 2 of the 3 Taylor kids off of Home Improvement are on there.
Which
Is
two?
it? Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't one of them like in jail?
Yeah, the one that's in jail was on there. But and the fucking best part is he plays a roid head.
Oh,
Like
is
he
it
play,
the oldest one?
Yeah, the oldest one. He plays a guy who's injecting kryptonite liquid into himself and give himself like super abilities and shit. And then it's the famouser one. The one
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, he was on there too. He played one of the villains where he could split into 2 people.
What was wrong with Jonathan Taylor Thomas? Didn't he have like, was he like dyslexic, or he had some sort of weird issue? It's the reason why he didn't become big.
I don't remember anything like that. I just remember like when he was like at the height of his popularity, he was like one of those like teen heartthrob kind of characters, or
yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys remember, but like near the end of that Home Improvement show, they had made geez, I can't remember his name. I want to say it was Mark, maybe the youngest one.
That's the name. Yeah.
He was like, do you remember that he like started becoming like goth emo like near the end of the show?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That's the last thing
I wonder if in real life that's what he was into, and that's the reason why they went with that.
I don't know, but it's funny when you rewatch some of these shows. Like, I bet it'd be super funny to rewatch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Actually, I watched it not that long ago. The first couple of seasons, they hold up really well. And the last couple of seasons do not. They're terrible. They were as bad as they were when I watched them when they first came out. They were bad.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that show in a long time, but I think I had heard a while back they were going to reboot it, but I don't know. I just too much of the rebooting and the redoing of movies and stuff. Like there was another movie I saw they were going to like reboot, and I'm just like,
yeah, I don't think that show could get any more woke. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like pretty ahead of its time. Like I don't know how much more woke the show could get.
I don't think anybody in the history of time has ever uttered that sentence. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer was ahead of its time.
You think it was more woke than other stuff back then? I didn't really notice, but
definitely.
Well, yeah, I remember there was some lesbians. I think the American Pie flute girl was a lesbian.
Yeah, I do.
Dude, they had a whole slay. They had like a whole group of slayers that were all lesbians.
Okay, I don't remember getting to that point. That might have been later in the show.
It was like later in the series. That's what I was saying. I was like, holy crap! All right.
I guess I do kind of remember that, and it kind of makes sense because they probably had, I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I could see what you're saying. Like, I think I remember near the end, it kind of got a little more into. I think it was Allison Hannigan, the actress. I think she was like was her name Willow, right? Was she on the show? Yeah. And they started adding. Remember, they added like the mini, or not the mini Buffy, but like the younger girl who was like Buffy, like her younger counterpart or whatever.
Like a midget Buffy.
I didn't think I watched that far.
It was. Yeah, I didn't see that one either. Was it Dawn? Was her name?
Yeah, mini Buffy.
You mean Faith?
No, she's talking about Dawn. He's talking about the chick who was her sister, but not in real, like, she was like some magical thing. She wasn't really like, her mom didn't really give birth to her, but she wasn't a slayer or anything. She was just her sister.
It was like basically they added even at the last second that she had a sister, but they like found some sort of BS way to like, oh, hey, we never mentioned her for 5 seasons, but here's your sister kind of thing. Like, I think that's what it was.
She was the key. And like she was like sent to Earth, and Buffy was supposed to protect her. So everybody had like all these false memories, but that was like the whole point. They really didn't shoehorn her in. Like that was the whole gimmick for the whole season. And then she had to protect her from that chick Harmony, the one who was like she was like a god. Her and her like twin brother were like gods and stuff. Yeah, you really don't remember the show, do you?
I don't remember that. Like
I don't remember that either. I didn't watch that far. But let me say,
That was actually pretty good. That was the season. That was the season after Buffy died, and they brought her back. When they brought her back, she got a sister. The
yeah,
story,
I mean,
like
what you're telling me make like I guess it kind of makes sense, and you're saying that they built the whole season around it, but I still
Yeah.
think it's like I still think it's one of those things where like as the show goes along, they get more desperate, so they start to like add characters and stuff. Like
when they got desperate is when they like had a whole slew of Slayers. That was desperate. And
okay,
I was
yeah,
like, yeah, here's a whole school bus. It's all full of Slayers. It's like what?
I don't think I
What
watched
are we
that
doing?
far.
yeah,
I know
I'm
it
not-
was bad. It was really bad. I only watched bits and pieces of that last
No.
season. Like the only reason I watched the bits of it was just to see what happened. And I
Well, let me
was
tell you,
so disappointed.
Smallville's not super fucking rewatchable, but I've made it. I think I'm in season 5 right now,
Yeah.
and I started from the beginning. I'm going, and it's real fucking hilarious how bad that show is. It's like watching some of the old.
I honestly
fucking
didn't like the show
kung
when it
fu
came out.
movies.
I don't remember. I don't think
Smallville?
I remember was like I kind of liked the intro, but I never really got into the show itself. And I think there was one of those girls. I don't know if she was supposed to be like his love interest or what.
Yeah,
I thought she was pretty
correct.
cute. Yeah, but I don't. I think she fell off. I don't remember seeing her do anything else afterwards.
I don't know if this is gonna ruffle any feathers, but Smallville has the best live action Lois Lane.
I don't even remember.
I've heard that. I've heard people say that. Before.
Erica Durance, she's the best live action Lois Lane. Hashtag my Lois.
I don't even. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and take a look. Cause I don't remember. But I'll look it up later because I trust your judgment because you watch a lot of Superman movies and content.
Close second is homegirl from that Lois and Clark show with old
the new
one,
Lois and Clark, or the old Lois
Dean
and Clark?
Kane with Dean Kane.
Oh, the one with Dean Kane. Oh yeah.
She was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
She's
kind of famous.
Terry Clark or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I
She was
vaguely
pretty
remember
famous at
that,
the time.
but I don't. Yeah.
See, that'd be cool if we could share a screen and bring up like. I think you can do that on that fucking shit. But hey, me and Rudy should be in a buddy cop film. You know what I mean?
Good.
This looks
Yeah,
like we could be like the cops.
Yeah, like you're wearing it because you're wearing aviator sunglasses.
And we got the standalone
Is there-
mustaches, but we still have the beard.
They're pretty funny.
Yeah, we already got the uniform.
You know,
We're
I don't
undercover.
remember much of Lois and Clark. Was it one of those shows where like it was like Superman, but it wasn't really like Superman all the time?
No, it was 100% Superman all the time on that one.
Yeah, they just called it that.
Yeah, they
Like,
just called it
did
The
he actually
Adventures
have,
of
like,
Lois
powers
and
and
Clark.
stuff like that?
Do what?
He actually had powers and he was flying around
Yeah.
with a cape and all that?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, he was full-fledged Superman in that show.
Because I don't know if you've ever heard of this or you've ever seen this show. This like it annoys me so I haven't gone back and watched it. I think I watched like one episode when it first came out, but it's called Agents of Shield, where it shows like it's like a Marvel show.
Yeah,
I watched a lot.
about.
I watched a lot of that.
It's just a bunch of like live actors and they're not like they're referenced at like
I was gonna say they reference a bunch of superheroes instead of
Yeah.
actually having them.
Thor just came through here and he was really mad and he had an argument with us and stuff and it's like, well, why didn't you show
Well,
that?
where is he? Oh, you just missed him.
Yeah.
See that show started off that way. The first season was 100% that way because it was right after the Avengers movie came out.
Yeah, they couldn't afford Chris Evans.
And yeah, and it was like it was big, but they wanted to feed off of that. So they were using a lot of those references. But as the show got on, it got pretty it got pretty good. Like they had their own version of Ghost Rider came on there, and just a bunch of comic characters, but there was never like a Captain America or a Thor never showed up or nothing. It was strictly like B level, like the B team, so mostly E and D teams.
Yeah, I was about to say the B team. I would be okay with if they at least showed them on screen, but like they don't even show them on screen. They'll just be like, "Yeah, this is Captain America's room where he sleeps at night."
Look,
and it's like, "Well, where's he at?
yeah.
Like, what the hell?" Like,
look, we can afford Hawkeye. That's it.
No, they couldn't afford Hawkeye. He didn't make it. He didn't make the cut either. It was like Ghost Rider, but it was Ronnie Reyes. You're like who the fuck is Ronnie Reyes? Exactly. And it was like Quake. Rudy, I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck is Quake? It's a character. Yeah, so there was a bunch of people. The only person that got was the agent who died.
Yeah. Oh.
In Avengers, Phil Coulson.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the main character of the show.
Yeah, I do remember that.
This is, to me, it's like I don't even mind that they're fighting like B and D level villains or whatever, but just from what I got from watching like that first episode, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be one of these shows where it's the BS where like never gonna actually fight anybody. It's like I thought to myself, okay, the agents are gonna have guns, they're never gonna use them. It's gonna be one of these shows where they just bust into a room and pull out their guns and say stop or we'll shoot, and the villain like runs off and like gets away. And it's gonna be every single episode, and I'm like, I'm not doing this, man. I'm not gonna put myself through this. Is it like that?
No. It's the first season is them. See, the thing happens is so there's things called Inhumans, and they're like,
I know what you're thinking. You've never heard of those guys either.
Right. So they got,
don't worry. They had a 5-issue run. It's solid.
This was before. I might be wrong on all this, but to my understanding, this is how it goes. It was before Disney had acquired the rights to Fox, so they couldn't use the word mutant. So they created all these fucking Inhumans that they had special, and some fucking myths got released, and it unlocked all their fucking abilities. So it was like a Smallville, where each week you had a villain of the week that would come up, and it was like who's this guy? I've never heard of him, but he's a pretty formidable villain for these guys. And then they saved the Earth a few times and time travel and go to space, and it's a crazy show. It wasn't bad. It was a little hard to get into in the beginning. It wasn't a bad show. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Did y'all see
the Inhumans? That's the one with the dude with the. Dang, I can't think of his name right now. He's the one who uses the tuning fork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Bolt.
That is a comic. That is a comic book series.
Yeah. All of them have their own series. They might be series that are stuck way back in the annals of history where no one knows them. Did you see that they're about to release the trailer for Ronin, the last Ronin?
Oh yeah. The Ninja Turtles.
The Ninja Turtle movie. They're making a video. They're making a video game and a movie based on that comic. Have you read that?
Yeah, I've only read all the synopsis of it. Like, so they took a really long time deciding on who it actually ended up being.
Because
they said it was one person, and then not that long ago I read an article and they said no, that's not 100% correct. Like, they allude to who the Ronin is.
No,
but they never tell you who it is.
No.
They said that the movie may or may not follow what how it decided which of the Ninja Turtles is going to be.
So it's 100%
Michelangelo.
It's 100% Michelangelo in the comic. It's like
it makes more sense that way.
So the synopsis is that all three of the four turtles are dead now, and you don't find out till the end of the first issue who this turtle is because he fights with all their weapons. And at the end of the first issue, you find out it's Mikey. But through the whole fucking issues, he's talking to the dead turtles. Like he's talking to Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. Splinter's dead. April's been fucked up by some kind of explosion. I think she's missing an arm. Her face is all scarred. Casey Jones is either missing or dead. April and Casey have a daughter together. Yeah, but it's a fucking great series. But it's going to be R-rated, and they're making a video game as well. So I'm pretty excited.
I've never heard of it.
It's called Ninja Turtles: Last Ronin.
Yeah, you can buy it as a graphic novel.
I have it as a graphic novel. It's pretty good. Yeah.
No, and like even like just to get back earlier, I wanted to ask you, Daniel, like Ghost Rider on Agents of Shield. Does he come out like looking like a skull, like on fire on a motorcycle, or is it like some guy who they say?
Oh no, he's not a motorcycle. Robbie Reyes drives a car.
But is he a skeleton?
He's a different Ghost Rider than the one.
Yeah.
The one you're thinking.
He drives like a muscle car. No, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now and see if I can show you what Robbie.
We're about to get copyright stricken.
What is? Well, I mean, I don't need to like. I'm just trying to figure out like, do they actually show him with are they actually like CGI graphics, or are we talking about like?
Yeah, dude, they blew their whole budget on that. Yeah, they forked out the money for the CGI.
Okay.
They just couldn't afford the other Ghost Rider.
Yeah, now we're in a different league then. That looks like a human.
Hold on, that's him before he.
Yeah, you just gotta imagine the flames.
Yeah, just imagine the flames. Hold on. Oh, come on.
I know Edric hasn't because he doesn't like going to the movie theater, but you might want to check out Wolverine and Deadpool. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see him smirking already. He's like, yeah.
No, I'm smirking about Ghost Rider because it's like exactly what I was saying. Is like, I better not be some like.
Yeah. See.
Okay, it's a little different. I mean, what I can see right there, but.
Hold on. Let me see if
I got it. I get you. Like I'm just saying, I thought it was gonna be one of those shows where they're gonna BS around and they're gonna have the actor without any kind of like flames or anything, and they're just gonna tell you that's Agent Ghost Rider or something like that, or he's Ghost Rider, but you never actually see him turn into Ghost Rider. He's just the whole time.
No, he's like a big part of the season, and he fights with the chains and all that shit.
And so, how do the agents fight? Do they fight with guns, or do they have to like?
They fight with guns. People get shot and killed, and some of them have powers because some of the agents are Inhumans. Like one of the superheroes is named Quake, or Daisy. I think she goes by on the show. I don't remember, but she can make the earth shake. And there's a few others. But there's just normal agents that go around shooting people and they get shot. People die. There's heartbreak. There's love affairs, betrayals.
Let me guess.
And superpowers.
When Quake,
rather just be action.
I'm guessing that when Quake uses their power, like the camera starts shaking and people start acting like they're like in an earthquake and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, practical
like
effects, bro. That's how an earthquake would look. Have you ever been in an earthquake, Edric?
I haven't, but I'm also not.
How do you know how people would act in an earthquake? How dare you?
I've only felt the small one.
I'm not 100% sure, but they've probably won every Emmy in their category since that show came out.
Director's like, okay, on this next scene, I'm gonna need you guys to hold on to the desk and start shaking around, pretending that you're in an earthquake.
In the category of superhero shows without superheroes,
that one has
versus Lois and Clark.
Wait, both of those have superheroes in it.
I know.
It would be.
It's one of those shows where you watch it all season. You never see any
And the
superheroes.
winner is Batwoman.
Well, it's funny. Like Smallville, they went 10 seasons. Okay, 10 seasons of Smallville, and he never once put on a cape or tights and became Superman. I think the most he ever wore, he wore like a Superman shirt and some jeans. I think that was the most in costume. And then like a couple other superheroes show up throughout the run. Like I think Flash shows up there, but it's not Barry Allen. It's Bart Allen. And then Aquaman shows up on there. Green Arrow shows up on there.
Like Teen Titans.
Pretty
Teen
much.
Titans.
Cyborg's
Teen Titans
on
when
there.
it came out, it's already campy.
Do you
Like
remember?
it already seems dated.
Do you remember that Star Wars game that came out? It's called The Force Unleashed, and you were like, you know, the guy who did the Star Killer on that. He plays Doomsday. I think his name's Sam Worthington Whitworth, something like that.
Yeah, Sam Worthington.
Yeah, something like that. But he plays Doomsday. And the funny thing is like they completely just said fuck Doomsday lore, and they're like, this regular dude gets infected with something, if I remember correctly, and he starts raging out and becoming Doomsday slowly over the time, and then
what the hell?
But I think
that's not what makes Doomsday scary.
I think when he became Doomsday, he looked way better than the Doomsday that they put in that stupid Superman movie. The newer one.
If they just made him look like the Doomsday in the comics, that would have been frightening.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
What a big Doomsday storyline was. It's supposed to be killing Superman, and then like a few months later, it's like, oh, Superman's resurrected, and so it's like, man, you guys should stop falling for that stuff, man. Like, I remember they made a big deal about like how they were gonna kill off Superman, and it's like. It seemed crazy to me at the time. It's like, man, they're gonna kill off like an intellectual property, and it's like, man, they got us good, man. Like, because they did the same thing in another show. Remember Heroes?
They got you good.
Heroes, I remember Heroes.
Heroes did that, and it's like, oh, that is such a cheap ploy to make it think you kill off a character and just to resurrect them. And I remember Game of Thrones did the same thing with the freaking Jon Snow, and it's like, man, I mean, I know they're following the book, but.
No.
But what's his name? Gave him that info because they talked to what's his name and they asked him what's gonna happen.
No, they did not follow the book because the book stops
when he's dead.
When he's dead, that's all we got. We're waiting for the 6th book now, and they had input from
George R.
Martin, but he says the whole last season he would have wrote completely different. Like the fact that
he said that after he told them, "Hey, this is what's gonna happen later in the books." What a bunch of idiots! I can't believe they wrote that. I was totally joking.
The funny thing is that like my fucking big gripe about Game of Thrones, and I've read all the books. And we're just talking about the show here because the show's the only one that's done, is that they spent, how many seasons was it? 8?
8.
Yeah. I think it was 8, yeah.
8 seasons building up that Jon fucking Snow was a Targaryen just to have it not mean jack shit at the end.
He just walks away.
He just, they just touch on it 2 times after Jon Snow learns, and when he bangs his aunt.
I was gonna say in the creepiest scene of the whole show.
Yeah, they touch on that, and then it just doesn't matter anymore. Like it's not gonna be a plot point. Go away, homie.
The first time I remember watching it, I thought it was like, man, it's kind of a crappy ending that Jon Snow ended up like being blamed for everything and being sent to the wall, even though he was like. Arguably one of the more noble characters the entire way, and he was like trying to do what's best for it. But I thought that was really crappy. But then I went back and I rewatched Game of Thrones, And I'm like, you know what? He kind of like deserved it because he's like,
It sucks because
He's dumb.
I'm going back and forth between Smallville and that right now. Like, my sister was watching Game of Thrones, and we might have to edit this part out after what I say, but she's watching.
Like, what is there something that's bad that shouldn't go out or what? Like,
no,
okay.
I'm just joking.
No,
people might hate me for it.
He's about to insult his sister.
No. I'm gonna insult the House of the Dragon fan base.
Oh, okay.
As being certain types of people. And by that I mean women. I go
we just got canceled.
Yeah. It's a woman show, dude. I don't know any other way to explain what I've seen of that show. But she was watching House of Dragon, and I kept walking in there. I was just like, man, they're just really making dudes look like idiots and stuff. And I was like, I don't kind of. It's like that Ghostbuster movie that came out where it was all girls, and then like every character
that was really bad.
Every character was just the male character was just a dumbass, and that's how I feel watching That's how I feel watching House of the Dragon.
I guess you haven't watched Star Wars Acolyte yet.
Oh, I've heard everything I need to know about that show.
That shows real. That shows what they're like hot garbage.
But so I was talking shit, and she's like, "Why don't you just watch House of the Dragon?" I'm like, "No, I'll just go back and watch the whole Game of Thrones instead." So I just started watching the whole Game of Thrones, and made it to I think Joffrey. I think I'm in season 4, and the whole time I'm just thinking how stupid Jon Snow is, and I thought I used to like his character a lot.
He's a noble character.
Yeah, but then going back and watching it, he like makes stupid decisions, and then like in the first season, when he's at the wall already, and they're talking like some shit's going down with his brother at war, and he's like I gotta go, and then they're like, dude, you got this, and then he leaves, and
they stop him like 20 yards out. They're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you can't go.
Yeah, it's just watching him slowly make stupid decision after stupid decision, and then poor Theon Greyjoy. I know he deserves some bad things to happen to him, but that guy
was broken.
Before you get into Theon Greyjoy, I wanted to touch on the Jon Snow thing. I kind of went back and rewatched it. I think what I was really bothered by was that there's a point where, I mean, he just like stupid things. Like there's a point where Daenerys calls him to like summons him to go to Dragonstone, and he shows up, and they ask him for his weapons when they land. It's just so stupid. He like shows up just with like Sir Davos and I think like one other person. Like it's a real small group. And they ask him for his weapons, and then it's like he ends up kind of being like almost like in prison because Daenerys doesn't let him leave for a while. And it's like, man, John, like how stupid could you be? It's like I don't know. It just, and then like whenever he was like risking all like the Night's Watch, like he didn't. I can kind of understand why like the Night's Watch turned on him because he like went and he like brought in all the wildlings and he got a bunch of like the Night's Watch killed and stuff and like. And like even like at the beginning when he's with Ygritte, like he ends up, I don't know if I didn't catch it the first time, but you go watch it the second time, you find out that like all the Night's Watch guys are with him, like they ended up dying because they went back and tried to look for him because he like wandered off with Ygritte.
Yeah,
he got that whole group all killed and stuff, and it's like, okay, well that was pretty stupid. And the only reason he like, and the whole thing was that like he couldn't take off Ygritte's head, and it's like, well, is that really honor, or is that just like falling victim to like your emotions, like because in that instance the right thing to do was to honor his Night's Watch vows, but instead he's like following his emotions. So it's like, can you say he's a good guy? Like,
so you're trying to say he should have cut the bitch's head off?
Not necessarily, but I'm saying
that's what you're saying. He should have cut her head off.
I like to frame it as that he got this freaking band of like 12 Night's Watch brothers all killed in this like they all die like trying to rescue him and stuff, and it's like they should have just left his ass out there to get captured by the wildlings because he like got captured all quickly, and it's like
Yeah, but that's actually different, right? Isn't that different from the book? Because in the book, he decides not to cut her head off, and in the show, he's about to cut her head off, and then she does something and she gets away.
maybe.
No, the show he's about to cut her head off and he stops. He doesn't cut her head off. And then as they're
I
going
just
late
rewatched that. I
No,
just
as
rewatched that episode.
they're going later, she pulls like the rope. They're walking further after he's already spared her life, and she does something, and she pulls the rope and makes him fall, and then she runs off.
Yeah, she like kind of distracts him, like trips him up with the rope that he's got her. He's leading her by.
Yeah. But he does spare her. He can't do it in the beginning.
I'm just glad I'm just glad he had the balls to kill all those people who stabbed him, even though that's not in the book.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Ollie,
Yeah.
and all
Yeah,
of
even
the other
the
Night's
little
Watch
kid,
who
like
stabbed him.
he hangs the little
Yeah.
kid too.
I was glad he killed him. I was like, holy crap, that kid like really betrayed you.
Yeah, that kid deserved every bit he got.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, you look at it on.
No, he deserved it.
He
From all
deserved
his-
it, Edric. There's nothing you can say.
From
Yeah,
all his point of
no.
view, his family
Off
got
with his
slaughtered
head.
by the wildlings.
That 11-year-old deserved to hang.
Yes.
And like Jon Snow,
If I ever seen an 11-year-old deserved it, it's him.
because Jon Snow was basically telling him like, well, just get over it, because his family was like slaughtered and stuff. We're gonna like invite the people because like Tonman was the one who actually like slaughtered like his family. Like he watched Tonman, like not Tonman, Torin.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. Anyways, the bearded guy, the redheaded guy, like the wildling guy, he's the one that actually slaughtered all his families, and so like all he remembers him, and like Jon Snow's bringing them in on the wall and like feeding them and clothing them and saving them and stuff like that. So I can kind of understand like if they haven't seen like the White Walkers and stuff like that, I can kind of understand that they think like Jon's a fool, that he's just like letting in all like the invaders and stuff. But
Boo-hoo.
yeah, no, I agree with you though.
Boo-hoo, get over yourself. The kid deserved to hang. He betrayed. Who cares if his whole family was murdered? Who cares if it's
the one who was probably actually plotting against him the most though was that Alistair Thorne. I think it was Alistair.
Oh
Thorne.
yeah.
I think he deserved just because he was like he had like a lot of sway, and he was like he obviously had it out for Jon Snow. Him and that I can't remember the other guy's name. The guy who was the commander of the Kingsguard or whatever, or not the Kingsguard,
The Night's Watch.
not the Night's Watch either. It was the Golden Company. No,
The White Cloaks.
Yes, there you go. He definitely, that was one of my favorite scenes when he like talked back to Jon Snow and he like openly like defied him in front of everybody, and that Jon Snow actually had like the conviction to go through with like beheading him.
Yeah.
But like, why is that? Like, why is he being honorable there? And then like when he like spares Ygritte, you get what I'm saying? I'm not that I'm saying that I wanted Ygritte to get her head chopped off, but like by him not doing that, he got his whole band of brothers like killed, and then like like why is one considered honorable, one isn't?
Yeah, all joking aside, yeah, you're 100% right. He got a lot of people killed. He made stupid decisions, and it's funny to say, yeah, he should have cut her head off, but he should have, because the fact is that when you're in a military or anything, and you're general and you have that sworn duty, and your general says, hey, we got to do this, you got to trust that your general is making the right decisions. And the law of his army is that they kill wildlings and they have to execute it. And he was told by his commander to kill that wildling, and he did not. So he did not, honor wise, he didn't do duty. He didn't do his duty. His duty was cut her head off.
Instead,
You think what's his half hand? Corin half hand would have not killed her?
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
He would that she would be like 2 feet shorter if he had been there. What about Sam? Do you think Sam would have killed her? Absolutely not.
Now you think if Egret wasn't attractive, you think Jon Snow or like Egret was a guy?
Ooh.
Would
You
have
thought
had
she was attractive?
well for a while, and considering that like especially because they're
Well, he's
they're
been on
like
the wall for a while.
yeah,
Have you
they're
heard?
all- they're, like,
Have you
women
heard
now.
of a phrase called construction hot?
No, I can guess.
Yeah,
what
but
that
I can
means.
put that together real quick.
Yeah.
So what it is that there's a curve when you're on a construction site that someone who wouldn't be hot normally on a construction site, they're hot. So he's on the wall. Okay.
Wall hot.
Around nothing but men.
Night's Watch hot.
Night's Watch hot, yeah. So
The wall hot.
He sees the first piece of tail that he's seen in months. In a little ginger, what do they call her? Kissed by Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know he married her in real life too.
I was gonna say that. I was like, I bet that tells me that he thought that show he was never gonna get anything else after this show. This was it.
I always figure when that happens that some of these actors use it like to their advantage when they're like having these simulated sex scenes. They're like, you know what I'm saying? They're running their game like when they're like put him in all these really close proximity with their co-stars and stuff, and they probably tell them like, yeah, we need to go afterwards and go run some lines in my trailer or something like that. That's always how I figure that kind of stuff happens. Because it just seems, I don't know, maybe I guess you could say that about any job though. People are spending a lot of time together. They're probably gonna like develop a connection, but it always seems weird to me whenever people are like have an on-screen relationship and it develops into like an off-screen one. Like did the guy in Twilight do that? Like can't remember his name. Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, the worst Batman in the history of everything.
I fell asleep during that one.
That was not. Everybody was like, that's such a good movie. Did y'all watch the same one I watched?
I heard that he said like after the breakup that he was kind of dishing dirt on her and stuff, but he said, man, she always smelled.
Yeah.
No, that was him. That was him. Everybody said he smelled. Like he had bad hygiene.
I heard it the other way around. Oh, she looks like she smells.
Yeah.
Y'all, Team Bella, Team Edward now. Y'all claiming each of the other one smells and stuff. Y'all like claiming which side y'all are.
I don't claim any of them. They could just the worst.
She looks
Batman.
like she smells like cat pee.
Worst Batman in the history of time. And I remember when they cast him, and I was so upset. And then, like I heard a rumor that they were gonna cast her as Catwoman, and I like to fucking went on a spree, bro. It was like
you really think he was the worst Batman?
Yeah, hands down. Not good.
Really? I always thought that what's his name was the worst Batman.
Well, okay. Back
Michael
off. No.
Huh?
Michael Keaton?
Watch your mouth.
I'm just throwing out Batman names.
Watch your mouth. No. Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
George Clooney was also a bad Batman.
George. I think George Clooney was the worst Batman.
Yeah.
But Val Kilmer was definitely attached to the worst Batman films.
Is that the one with Riddler, Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey, yeah. And
Tommy Jones.
And but then again, you had George Clooney had Poison Ivy and fucking
he had
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I remember.
Now I need you to freeze.
Those all kind of blend together.
Everybody chill.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I don't remember them too well, but I remember like they started to get real like goofy and cartoonish after a while. Like all these like bright colors and like you couldn't really tell like the.
That's the guy who did all like the Edward Scissorhand movies and stuff. I hate those movies. I'll be honest. I know it's an unpopular opinion.
Tim Burton was the first two Batman movies with Michael Keaton. They weren't colorful. He did once it went over to Joel Schumacher.
Yes,
He
that,
did he
yeah.
he did the Batman Forever and the Batman and Robin movies. He's the one that put nipples on the bat suit.
Yes.
And it was a big ordeal. Yeah. No,
Weird.
Tim Burton made 2 all right Batman movies. Joe Schumacher, no, thank you. And then that new one with the Twilight vampire guy. That one, I watched it on a plane, and I saw it. I was flying to North Carolina, and I was like real excited because everybody was saying what a good. And then you see that one scene where he's like asking that question, and then he just beats the shit out of the bad guy, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be a little brutal Batman. This might be cool.
Yeah.
And then you watch it, it's just
It's poorly written.
poorly written garbage.
Yeah, and the ending fight scene's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to be a Joker. I was like, oh jeez, are we doing this again?
Yeah, I remember a little bit about it, but I think the only ones I've really enjoyed were I think the Christian Bale ones are pretty good. Like the ones that they did recently.
Yeah,
I couldn't
those
stand
are my favorite.
I couldn't stand his Batman voice though.
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of overdid
That
it
was my big gripe about because he played a really good Bruce Wayne. See, that's the problem is you got people that are playing good Bruce Waynes, but they don't play the good Batman, or the other way around. He played a really good Bruce Wayne, but his Batman voice was the worst. Like Rachel.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, they had a whole issue with the voices.
yeah.
It's like why does Bane sound like this?
Yeah,
darkness is your ally.
Well, that was pretty good actually.
Yeah, he's like talking through a respirator and stuff. It's like, what the hell? I thought he was like Brazilian or something. What's going on?
I forgot. I saw somewhere where he got the inspiration from that, and I can't remember. Like, I can't for the life of me. I can't remember. He saw it. Somebody like a historical figure.
Hospital?
No, it was like somewhere that he was trying to copy something. I can't remember now. I shouldn't even brought it up, but it was like inspired by somebody.
The dude Heath Ledger who played the Joker, he was inspired by Tom Watts. And you watch an interview of him, Tom Watts, on the fucking like Tonight Show or some shit. He's smoking a cigarette. He sounds just like Heath Ledger's Joker. It's fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah. But Bane, there was this YouTube video. It was like called Bane Cat. And it was just this cat that was giving havoc to its owner. And it like had the little respirator mask on it. He talked like Bane. And it was fucking hilarious. I think I can do a pretty good Bane impersonation.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good. Well, what I was gonna say was that I think that teleparty we're gonna do kind of fell through for tonight. So
yeah,
I'll probably put that on the shelf, but I'm gonna keep messing around with that. And then maybe if we get a chance in the future, if we can't do that, then we can like watch some like content and just like comment on it or do something like that. I think there's another way we can do that like through YouTube. So
yeah, we'll figure it out. I think it would have been funny to see the dragons in action.
Yeah, I mean we can still watch it, but it's like
House of the Dragons.
No.
All right, let's watch it.
Honestly, I forbade myself to even touch House of the Dragon after. Like I feel like Game of Thrones got me good, man. It got me invested, and it's like at the end it just took a dump on me.
Let me tell you,
the difference is House of the Dragons. I think the book is over. I think it's a book series. I think it's over, right?
No.
So it's not either.
No, I listened to the audio book this last week because I was like, my sister kept talking about it, and I wanted to know more than her.
Mm-hmm.
That's how siblings are. You're like, oh yeah, well, did you know this is gonna happen? Boom. But so like I read the whole 26-hour or I listened to the whole 26-hour long audiobook. And
wow, you really commit to
trolling. Yeah, it's like rest 26 hours just to troll his sister.
Yeah,
exactly.
and let me tell you, the book is like listen to a history book because it's not like Game of Thrones. It's like they're telling you the history of the Targaryens, and every now and then they'll like set a scene up for you. But it was like listening to a history professor talk to me for 26 hours about the Targaryens. And let me tell you, it doesn't start with where the House of the Dragon show starts. It starts hundreds of years before at the first Aegon's conquest and how the Targaryens come into power. And then like 9 hours into the book, then you finally get to where the show is. And then like 10 more hours and then you're past where the show is. And then you're kind of right at where the show is, and then it ends, and there's going to be a book 2 after he finishes writing book 5 or 6 of Game of Thrones, and he's 3/4 of the way done with that.
Jeez, when I started watching that show, I noticed that they immediately pulled remember Judy Winslow, the forgotten sister on Family Matters. They did that. They've been doing that so far in House of the Dragons. They ditched one of the kids. Like they warded him somewhere else, and they haven't mentioned him at all since then.
Well, they did that.
Isn't he with his aunt? It's like, dude, it's been years.
They did that same thing with Boy Meets World. The little sister just disappeared, and then she came back, and they changed her actress. And then she came back and she was the original actress, and she was like, I feel like I've been in my room for a very long time or something. It was weird.
Yeah, they get lazy about like adding new characters or just writing backstories for them. They just kind of yada yada it after a while.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say was that, if you guys are down, we'll try to do this again sometime, and we'll try to see if we can get that get a teleparty going next time. Either we'll do it through YouTube or through Hulu or Amazon Prime or something, and we'll see if we can get something set up to do a live event at some point. Like that's something I've been trying to like work into, but it's hard. You got to get everybody scheduled correctly, and you got to make sure everybody's like. We can't do like we did tonight, where we spent like 2 hours fumbling around with stuff. So we had to kind of like just see if we can plan it at some point. But I appreciate hearing from you guys. Now, with your Daniel, I don't know if you can say something so people can see your filter.
House of the Dragon. This is a big House of the Dragon fan.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest. I just can't wait. Can't wait to. I 26-hour long. I have to listen to it like at 1.3 speed though.
Like the Chipmunks, the audio narrating of a book.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, what I was going to say was it's just like they're like on a lot of coke.
I kind of made a vow to myself that I'm not going to get involved in anything else. Doesn't already have the plot already lined out. Like I got involved in Game of Thrones, and like I really like. I remember I kind of heard like, oh, the books aren't done yet, and I was a little bit worried, but I thought, okay, they're not going to do this to us. They're going to like, okay, they're gonna have this thing planned out to where it's going to play out. And sure enough, they made it to the show ended up catching up to the books, and they started making up their own story, and it was a train wreck at the end. And like you said, like a lot of the storylines, it's not that like I'm upset like that the way things ended up, is that they threw away a lot of like the symmetry to like a lot of the storylines. Like they were building up to a certain thing, and then it just like dropped them and did like something different. And that's the part I think that bothered me, was that they just kind of like abruptly ended a bunch of storylines and didn't properly like close them out. So
yeah, and then her descent into madness. Spoiler alert: her descent into madness. Like they hint at it for however many seasons. Like they always talk about her dad or whatever being the Mad King and whatever, and then just out of she's fucking nuts and burning the whole fucking city. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they spent too long building up the White Walker storyline, and then to just end it abruptly. And then her storyline, they kind of like didn't start planning for it early enough. They should have shown like they should have foreshadowed a little bit of it like earlier on to make it like a longer story arc instead of just like kind of jamming it in near the end. But I agree with you. But
so, if George R.R. Martin ever decides to actually finish that book, would you be supportive of them rebooting the last season?
They can do it. I'm out. No. I'm not playing that game with them anymore.
No, they made me waste, and I'm wasting it twice because I'm a dumbass. but they made me go 8 seasons twice, and that's why I haven't watched the House of the Dragon, is because I can't. It's like Edric said, it's that heartbreak of it sucking at the end that just.
To me, if George R.R. Martin comes out with like a way better version afterwards, like, no, dude, shame on you, dude, because then that kind of shows to me that you kind of set up the TV show to like be Steam Pala crap at the end, you know, like
you tried out something on the show, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's what he did.
You and then you saw the audience hated it, and now you can now you have a chance to change it. That's shitty.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever had any intention on finishing that book. I think he wrote himself into a corner, and he kind of decided, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, because he didn't have to write the whole book. Because what each of those books are like, just audio files are like 20 plus hours. Some of them are in the 30s. That's a lot of book to write. You know, most of the ones I listen to on Audible are 9, 10 hours, 13-hour long books. You write one that's twice that, that's a lot to write.
Well, if his ending is sort of similar to like the show endings, then I'll say okay, like, but if his is like radically different and way better, I'm like, no, dude, shame on you, dude. Shame on you for doing that, man. Like, setting us all up like that. But anyways, it's a small complaint, you know, that I enjoyed it at least up until like around season 5 or season 6, something like that. Like, it starts falling apart around that point. So but anyways, guys, like, I don't want to stay on here too long because we kind of been going for a while, but I'm glad you guys were able to get on and get a few hours or an hour and a half or so, whatever, you know, podcasting with us, and hopefully we can do this again maybe next weekend. If not, maybe sometime during the week when you guys have some chance. Like, I'll try looking into the teleparty stuff and see if we can add some of that to one of these videos, and then maybe we can start doing a live stream at some point. So I appreciate you guys, and like I said, it's been great, and we're gonna sign off now. So thanks, guys.
All right, talk to y'all later.
All right.
All right.